Resident Evil Requiem just got some exciting new leaks for the post-launch content. The new minigame that is launching this May might have actually been uncovered from a new data mine. Now, additionally, some footage has recently made the rounds again by the actress who plays Grace Ashcroft, which might have revealed her involvement in Requiem's DLC. So today we're going to talk about what the new minigame might be, as the data mine information, all the leaks that happened are pretty wild. This is exciting times for Resident Evil Requiem. Obviously, the post-launch content is so hype, and we have a lot to breakdown. So without further delay, let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with the actual data mine itself, because this is a piece of evidence that basically kicked off the entire conversation. Capcom has been pretty quiet about what the post-launch content actually is whenever it comes to Requiem, which that makes sense. They literally just announced it not too long ago. So it's like, obviously we're not going to get all of the details just yet. All we really know from Koshi Nakanishi is that there is a new mini game and most likely a new update coming this May. But after that, they haven't said a single word about what it actually is. No mode reveal, no trailer, just nothing. The literal silence. And then according to Twitter user Sirkov, I think that's the pronunciation, well, they decided to do some pretty wild stuff. So according to them, they posted on Twitter, "I was digging through Resident Evil Requiem files and found something that could be related to future extra mode or Mercenaries. Here are some of the tracks that I found." And then in the next tweet in the thread, they said this: "You can find these with this tool," to which they linked to the GitHub repo for the Repack GUI. Now, from what I can tell, is this is a tool that the modding community has been used to crack open RE Engine games for years now, but Sirkov was able to, directly rip the hidden audio files that Capcom shipped on the disc or in the Steam files or whatever. And what they found was pretty wild. Like, we're talking fully produced, completely unreleased audio tracks just sitting in the files. Now, this is where things get interesting. The exact file path of these tracks is under natives, STM, streaming, sound, and Wise. And the file name that they're sitting under is called BGM End Content. So Capcom internally labeled this audio as in-game content, as in content designed to play after you finish the main story. Now, IGN recently picked up this leak as well and wrote an article about it. Now, in their article, they actually floated the theory that some people in the community are pushing, and kind of what I thought as well. And it's the idea that these tracks are just leftover credit music, mainly just unused cinematic stuff that didn't make the final cut of the game, which I think totally makes sense. Like, having it labeled end_content does make it, sound like this is mainly for end of game credit music. Now, that's what my opinion is, like, without even listening to the soundtrack. But if you actually listen to the stuff, like, you slap your headphones on and, you start listening to it, or you got your surround sound that's like 7.1 Dolby Atmos or whatever, and you actually listen to what Sirkov extracted, these do not sound like random, credit tracks. They're not slow. Like, the BPM of these tracks are like pretty high, and it's not like really slow music. It doesn't really seem like they're for credits. Like, I started listening to them and I was like, dude, I'm getting pumped up. Like, this is some good stuff. Now, if you frequent Resident Evil games and you play all of the mercenary mode stuff like that, you know exactly what this sounds like. It sounds like Mercenaries, full stop, like straight up. Which, I mean, you think about it, like RE4 had Mercenaries, RE5 had it, Village had it. And the audio from these tracks is literally the same, like the fast tempo. It's all designed to like keep you moving forward, keep your combo up, and just keep you like fully locked in. I'll put a link in the description for the tracks. I'm not going to play them over this video for obvious reasons. I don't know if Capcom actually wants this stuff out there. I strongly recommend it. Like, once you hear it, you're going to be like, okay, I'm getting the vibe. It definitely sounds like Mercenaries. Now, could this music be for like an extra, Leon mission that we actually didn't get? Sure, that's possible. Could the music be for an action heavy DLC, like perhaps a Leon section instead of the Mercenaries minigame? Again, it's all very possible. Like, I'm not going to rule any of that stuff out. But either way, what this leak does tell me is that Capcom and the, composer of the game produced quite a few high octane combat music for content, whether that be for post-launch content in terms of the DLC or whether it's for the minigame mode. I don't know, but regardless, that alone is huge. Now, ideally, I would love for it to be either the Mercenaries or the DLC. Like, I don't want this to just be unused credit music. That would be really bad. Like, that would kind of suck. Now, if this is for the minigame, then we are getting something that is like fast, is replayable, and with the timing of this leak right before the teased May update and, minigame releasing, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that this got out there. I think Capcom might have left it in there because they're like, who cares? So you have homework for this video. I want you to go listen to the music and tell me what your thoughts are. Like, do you think it's for the Mercenaries mode? Do you think it's for something else? Or did Capcom's, composer just absolutely cook for end credit music? But guys, listen, okay? A new combat mode sounds great, but it doesn't move the story forward. Like, that's not the thing that we all want the most. What we really want the most is, the new Resident Evil remake, but that's besides the point. But the way Requiem ended, it did leave us a lot of questions, and there has been the community that's been begging for answers. So now we have to talk about the bigger story here, and that is the potential DLC leak. I'm going to say potential because this one is very much like a asterisk. And if it's real though, like if this is legitimate, this is pretty insane. Now, this is also from a post that has been making the rounds again. It's mainly on Twitter as well as like Reddit and stuff, but it's from an interview with the legendary Angela Santalbano. Yes, I say legendary because she is the actress who plays Grace Ashcroft. She's the one behind the motion capture. She's the face, she's the voice, and of course she is the most important characters in the entire game. Without Grace Ashcroft, there's really no Resident Evil Requiem. Now, during this interview that took place about 2 weeks ago over on the Party Chat YouTube channel, Angela was asked a pretty basic question about her recording schedule, and her answer is what really set the community on fire. Like, this is the thing that has everyone talking. Now, she said this, and I quote, "I haven't done Grace's voice in 2 years. No, when was the last time we shot? Probably like 6 months ago." So you're probably asking yourself, why does this actually matter? Who cares? Well, if we put our, tinfoil hats on or our detective caps on, whatever you want to put on, and break down what exactly 6 months ago could possibly mean. 6 months ago back from now, puts us roughly at October 2025. So what was happening at Capcom in October? Now, there's really only 2 explanations, and I want to kind of talk you through both of them. The obvious one is a thing called ADR, and that's essentially where in the final moments before the game ships, the actors get back into the recording booth to re-record specific lines and to make sure that everything is like perfect. Maybe a scene was actually changed up, or they wanted to add some extra polish, maybe some extra grunts or some extra screams, like stuff like that. October 2025 would put Requiem deep in the final polish stages of the game right before it went gold. So yeah, I think that it's pretty possible and most likely that they were just doing some cleanup and trying to polish the game and add extra detail to it. However, through door number 2, this is where things get pretty spicy. What if 6 months ago Angela wasn't doing cleanup work? What if she was in the full mocap suit on a sound stage recording performances for the unannounced DLC for Requiem? Which, let's be real, this is such a huge stretch. Like, guys, I am stretching all the way to the moon. You could call me Mr. Fantastic, I don't care. So you're saying there's a chance? Well, I think that's possible. Obviously, I don't think the DLC is going to be entirely Grace focused. I'm kind of conflicted because I almost feel like it would just be better if they just took Grace and Leon, put them back in the game for this DLC, have like one last, hoorah, maybe have some characters like Chris Redfield show up, perhaps even Ada Wong show up as well. There are genuinely so many possibilities for this DLC that it is impossible to speculate. Like, we have no idea what they're going to do. But Grace Ashcroft is literally sitting right there. She is the new character on the block. Like, she's new to the Resident Evil franchise. So providing her with, extra gameplay and, maybe some extra backstory could be incredibly interesting. Like, I love the Grace sections of Resident Evil Requiem. They're some of my favorite, but I think they're going to take the base game with the Leon and the Grace sections where, Leon has the crazy ultra action with Grace having the survival horror experience. I think they're going to take that and just do that with the DLC as well. Is it possible that other characters return? Maybe we get some clarification on who Leon's wife is. That'd be awesome. I mean, they clearly teased something pretty big at the end of Requiem. Not only was it that Leon is married, but also like the thing with Chris. Like, that is significant. Like, that's something this big. Will they close that plot thread with the DLC? I don't know. I kind of doubt they will, as that might fit better for RE10, but still, anything is possible. I, for one, am totally down with a Grace and Leon DLC. Like, just give me 3 to 4 extra hours of both the Grace and Leon sections. Like, have a section for Grace, have a section for Leon. I'm down. Like, just ship it, send it to us, and you just take my money, honestly. Look, at the end of the day, it is all still super early. The data mine itself is real. Like, those audio tracks are like actual concrete evidence. Like, that's real files. So whether or not it's, related to the Mercenaries mode or the DLC, or if it's just in credits, that's still very much to be determined, and at this point it's unconfirmed. Now, when it comes to the interview with Angela, I'll leave that up for you guys to decide. Like, I'm kind of, in between. I think it was probably just polish. Like, Capcom obviously wants to make sure that their games are as perfect as possible. So Angela being back in the booth like 6 months ago before the game comes out, it all kind of makes sense. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comment section. Are you split on this one? Are you excited for the DLC? Do you think the audio files that are, released are related to a Mercenaries mode, or what kind of mode do you want to see with this game? Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe with the notifications on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.